ほほほほほ。早いね。おはようございます。まだ片付け終わってない。今、ちょうど、今下で。
片付けてれば。
そうか、もう始まった。
片付いたよ。すごく片付いた。
ですが、まだでしょ。今、問題は今、ライブですね。工房から8時から9時半まで、今、ライブ放送です。今、ちょっと切り。
テレビやってるの？
テレビじゃなくて、インターネットで、ちょっと切ってください。
ライブ放送？
ライブ。8時から9時半まで。
何してんの？
キャメラ一つ、顔に。
はい。
靴でも大丈夫でしょ。ちょっと待ってください。もう一つのキャメラでしょ。ここに。これからもう一つのキャメラ。見てください。今の画面は海外に住んでる人たちが今見てる。見てるんですね。9時半までです。だから僕9時半からまた片付けができますから。
ライブなんだ。
今ライブ。ちょっと待っていい？これ誰ですか？泥棒ですか？大工さんですか？今全部英語でしょ？OK、ちょっと待って、変わりますから。Excuse me everybody, a little bit plans changed here today. Let's move to this one. はい。今、This is Koyama-san. The guy who's going to be, ちょっと英語ですから。This is Koyama-san, the guy who's going to be building the shelves upstairs. He's just walked into this. I thought he was coming at about 10 o'clock today. もうおはようという。アメリカ、ヨーロッパ、どこでも。
みんな見てるの？
そうです。今日ちょっと特別ですから、普通は僕のホリダイから出しますね。で、僕は仕事をやってる間、
僕らも見えるわけ？
今この画面が今海外放送中です。で、今日特別僕のホリダイじゃなくて、ここに来る魚とか自然の中にいろいろこの別の仕事と本の話とかいろいろ話しますから。今日ちょっと特別な放送です。
はいはい。音がしても平気なの？
全然問題ない。もうみんな楽しみに何やってるとか、綺麗なヒゲですねとか、ヒゲの
すぐ帰ってくるわけね。
そうだ、ライブですよ、ライブ。私たちが話していることとキャメラの画面が放送してます。で、みんな自分のパソコンを見て、それからここにコメントを
すぐ打つ。来るの？返事が。
ライブです。ライブ。
すごい。
僕は向こうの声を聞こえない。もちろん一人から何千人までですから、でみんながいろんなタイプ、コメント。
向こうからの声は聞こえないのね。
もちろんじゃないです。
文章で書いてくる。
テレビと同じようですね。でもすぐ
一瞬で書いてくるわけ。
そうです。いや、楽しい人ですね。
すごい。
ヒゲは綺麗ですね。デイビッドは今説明してますから、とか。OK、じゃあ、where are you guys from? Let this gentleman know where you're from. カナダのトロントに住んでる人。この人がアメリカのミズーリ州ですよ。
そう。
ニューヨーク、ミシガン、ベルジアム、ジャーマニー、スウェーデン、スペイン、ロンドン、カナダ、オーストリア、スコットランド、フランス、アメリカ、too fast, I can't do this. ウェールズ、カナダ、そう。
どんどん新しく来てるの？
そうです。だから質問出すと答えが出てくるよ。アメリカ、Germany, Netherlands, it's too fast for me. Spain, Hungary, where are we? Brazil, Philadelphia, Canada, Switzerland, Australia.
はいはい。頑張ってください。
だから
9時半ね。
そう考えたんですから、今日はできないんですから来週すると、キャメラは上で小山さんたちがやってる間。Okay, I gotta spend one more minute with him. I'll be back in just a minute. Hang on a sec. I'll put the camera. Just give me one more minute to settle him out for this morning. I didn't think he was coming till 9:30 or 10. はい。そんなに早く来ると考えなかったですからね。だから途中でもう大丈夫。はい、だからちょっとだけ説明です。このものは乾燥している途中です。僕のものじゃない先生という人、堀市の問題の人です。今日私が皆さんが来る前に考えたんですから、このものは下で今ちょうど僕の部屋、今放送した部屋の外に雨が降れないようなところがありますから、そのもの全部一つずつを下で持っていく予定ですが、今日どこからスタートしたいんですか？ The priority。OK。
大丈夫。ここは大丈夫。
でもまだ。 9時半までですね。申し訳ないです。ありがとうございます。はい、どうも。なんだなんだなんだ。I should have realized carpenters, they're going to start early, so I had no idea. I should have realized, sorry. The son was here yesterday to finish up, I don't know, negotiations and whatever. The price, whatever. I shouldn't really talk about it just like this live, but whatever. Anyway, sorry about the strange start this morning. So now, what about the deal about the fish? While I was away there, we tossed some food in. Did anything come and nibble at it? Are there any fish there at all or none? And should I give up on this? Is it hurting? If they're sleeping in there, should we just leave them alone? If I toss food in one day in a month or something, it might hurt them. Anyway, let me know about the fish here. Should I try putting food in there, or should I just let it pass, let them sleep for the winter? I don't know. As far as the filter goes, all of our leaves are gone, you can see. So with no more tree cover, it's reflecting the sky. I tested the camera this morning with the filter, turning it round. And this is the 3 o'clock setting, and it's the best. Some saying they will appreciate food. But did we see any when I tossed the food in before running upstairs to talk to those guys? I don't know. Anyway, let me know, because I really, really, really don't know anything about that. Okay, here we are in Ome. It's a bit of this one usually sits outside and it gets dirty and dusty. I guess that's 10, is it? So we're at 8 degrees. And the humidity is pretty high, 65. And this is my workshop, 8 degrees. We're here in December. I moved into this building in 2000, started right away building the workshop, little bit by little bit, got it all insulated. The floor is insulated, the roof's insulated, the alcove where I am is 6 inches of insulation. The insulation is in. There's no heat source, so it doesn't actually get warm. But, one day. It will be one day, a nice, warm, toasty little workshop. But right now it's cold. I like it. This is the way all the prints in my Surimono albums, the Beauties of Four Seasons, the Mystique series, they were all made in this room, going through each year, January through to December. I guess we all live in the environment. At my age, we live in the environment we really want for ourselves. When we're younger, stuff comes at us and we can't control things very well. But by the time we get to my age, we're living in the environment that we really want to be. So I guess this is Dave. For some reason, he likes this chilly, cold, get going environment. Okay, this morning, what's going to happen? Ishiyami-san, she's learned the pattern now. She has started to leave work for me. So she has left a pile of prints here for me. Not a giant pile, maybe 15 and 15. And she wants me to finish trimming these and mounting them on the paper backboards ready for packing. Those of you who have Mokuhankan prints know the deal. The prints come in a certain style of packaging. So she has asked me to trim these and mount them on boards. Any paper out? No, but there's a backstory there. This morning in Asakusa, Ayumi-san is coming. I can't get her paper out. She knows that. My own paper is frozen solid in Asakusa. And tomorrow morning, Friday morning, I start printing. And I can tell you now, Saturday's stream and the next streams for the next little while are going to be Dave printing the takeoff design, the first print of next year's subscription series. But today there is a printer here. She won't be here probably during our stream time. When I arrived here yesterday afternoon, I heard voices talking inside, and Ayumi-san, not the Ayumi-san you've seen in Asakusa, but those of you who've been with us for a long time remember Ayumi Shiba, the ghost print lady, the spider print lady. She was in our printing room here, printing another print. So stand by. Maybe a couple of months from now, we will actually have the next print from Ayumi-san. So I forgot about that Ayumi-san. She's not back. She's not back. I pitched her yesterday. I pitched her so hard. I did everything but take my wallet and wave it in front of her nose. Whatever. It's not about the money. She doesn't care about the money. She's in her 40s, living with mom and dad and just living the dream. She spends time with the company making hair pieces for Kabuki Theater. She likes that. She spends time with a little tourist papermaking village in the backwoods of Tokyo. And she spends time making her own woodblock prints when she feels like it. And it seems now that she feels like it again for a while. So. Okay, let me get I need a knife and a cutting board. 1 second, please. Excuse me. Where do they keep their cutting board? Here it is. The desk is Korean. It's from it's Korean tourist junk. I know my brother, years ago, we're going back 30, 35 years here. I had just started living in Japan with my family and a couple of little kids. And my brother was working on cruise ships as a musician with a little dance group on cruise ships. And they do the Caribbean, blah, 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 blah. They do Mediterranean, blah, blah, blah. And one year, his ship, it was the Crystal Harmony, at the time, a fabulous new, super expensive deluxe cruise ship. I guess they'd been doing Alaska, west coast of America and Alaska. And then they got reposted, I guess, for the season. When that froze up, they got reposted to the Philippines or something, or Southeast Asia. And the ship had to transition from the Alaska region, had to transition around. And anyway, long story short, the Crystal Harmony, they stopped in Japan and cruised around for a while. And he, in Korea, picked up this table, which he thought was glorious. It's actually tourist junk. It's got some kind of pattern of cranes. It's inlaid, I don't know, not mother of pearl, what's the stuff called? Like oyster shell stuff. It's inlaid and it's crumbling off, and it was never nice in the first place. But so it's somebody's got it. It's a charming desk. So it's been the go-to desk here. We don't use it for carving or printing, of course. Asuka Asuka too. No, it wasn't the Asuka. That was a Japanese. The Asuka was a Japanese-built, Japanese-run cruise ship. This was Crystal Harmony. I'm sure that's the name of it. It was a big, big deal in its day. It was very exclusive and expensive. We're talking the, 1989, 1990, 1991, somewhere on there. Oh, I see. It's the same ship. Okay, I'm sorry. Gotcha. His cruise ship Canada Place in that day. Yes, this is all history. We're talking now nearly 30 years ago. So this is all past history. It was on for a time there. It was on the Alaska run. So yeah, it would have been Seattle, maybe Seattle, Vancouver, or maybe Los Angeles or something. I don't know. Up through Vancouver, Victoria, up to Alaska, and then because of the season, they got shifted to Asia. Yes, if you see a Japanese word with a U in it, for the most part, you drop the U. U's are not commonly pronounced in Japan. It's a common one, like, for example, that food that everybody knows, the sukiyaki. We don't pronounce the U, it's skiyaki. And when we say, I like something, the actual verb is suki des, but we say ski desu ne. And then desu, des, the basic verb existence. Pen desu. We say pen desu ne. Des. We drop the U. Almost always in Japanese, the U is dropped. And the place where my shop is, tourists call it Asakusa. It's not Asakusa, it's Asakusa. Just run the K and the S straight together. You drop the U. I don't know if that's 100% rule. The tourists are fun, Asakusa. Maybe I did too. As you can see, these are bleed prints. So we printed. Anytime we want a bleed in a print, we can't print just to the, we have to print larger and then trim it so that the color runs right off the end. We can't print to the exact edge of a print, never. Shibuya. Shibuya, yeah, it's a little bit in there. And there's a word shibui. We pronounce it there, shibui, ne. So it is. It's not a 100% rule then. Sometimes it does come up. Komatsu. So maybe there's another exception. When the U is at the end of a word, it's there. Komatsu is a place name. Komatsu. Matsu is pine, and ko is small. So Komatsu, the name of a place where that construction company presumably got started. Komatsu. We've got it there. So yeah. Urashima Taro, of course, at the beginning of a word, there it is. Urushibara Mokuchu. Yes, beginning and end. So maybe these are some of the exceptions. There you go. There's there. So it's nowhere near 100% rule. Musubi. Somebody's got these examples. How hard was it to learn kanji? Did you have any way of trying to help you learn it? I'm not the guy to ask. I have never studied kanji. I've never sat here with the dictionaries and written them out. I am a hacker. My knowledge of Japanese is very much seat of the pants. I can talk to people, I can speak properly, I can give speeches, I can give an NHK interview, you name it, I can do that. I can read to the extent that characters that have become familiar to me. I can read a book about Mokuhankan with no problem. Can I read the financial newspaper report on the Korean trouble this morning? No. So no, the way to do the kanji is, you know the deal. Sit, get the textbook, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and start studying. And I have not done that, ever. It's deconstruction this morning up there. There's a little room up on the first basement floor that used to be the closet full of dresses, and they're taking that room apart because we need it to build shelves. So it's deconstruction first. And actually, the existence of that little room is why I was able to get this home and workshop. It was a closet full of dresses, and the previous owner of this place, an artist, illustrator, he illustrated for encyclopedias. His most famous work is illustrating for children's encyclopedias. And at one time he was quite famous and well known. He also did the covers for all the books that were published in the Star Trek series. We've talked about him before. So he was quite well known. And he was famous, and at one time his income was very, very, very high. He lived in a much more expensive part of Tokyo. So what's the connection with me? Credit cards. His wife had a credit card and bought Dior and Chanel dresses and put them in a closet. She was a housewife, not a fashion icon, but she bought these dresses. It was a thing back in the bubble time, you know, well-off people, their wives would, whatever, buy stuff. Nothing exotic about this. But his status and his number of orders coming in for his work decreased bit by bit, but her credit card spending did not. They had to sell their house and move out towards the suburbs. This house was the third time in the cycle. This is all, he told me all this himself. This is not gossip. She kept buying dresses. She had this wonderful collection of dresses. I saw it when I was inspecting this house. And just, that's the way it went. She kept spending. His earnings didn't keep pace. And they borrowed money on their credit cards. They're all dead now. It's long, long ago. This is historical stuff. And the debt holders foreclosed or threatened to foreclose. There were 3 gangster groups that by then had got hold of his debt. And they had liens on the house, on this building. There were 3 of them. And I guess at some point they gave him an ultimatum. That's it. Next Friday or else. And he was threatened that, whatever, 1 week from now, he had to pay this stuff. Or, and there were 3 gangster groups. So he put the house on the market quickly to try and sell within 1 week to get cash to pay these guys off, these gangsters. And whatever, I did it. I paid the 3 gangster groups. They all came into a meeting with me at my bank. I collected cash. I took a loan. And I myself paid off the 3 groups, the 3 gangsters. And then I got the house from him for the leftover amount of the loan, which was, all in all, it was 18 million yen. I paid everything. And I got the house. And he and his wife moved out to a little local apartment building. But the little room that they are now deconstructing was her. It was a walk-in closet. It's a room about like a 4x5 mat room in Japanese. I don't know, what do you call it, poles all around. And it was full, jammed. When I inspected the house that week to come in to see if I wanted to buy it, it was jammed with dresses. Long, slinky red dresses, sparkly dresses, little black dresses. Just, it was full of dresses, unused. No, the dresses left. When they left, they took everything with them. Those people are all dead now, long, long dead. The construction up there, it's happening in a room. It's the first basement, and it's 4 meters high, just a sliver under 4 meters high, 3.8 meters high. And for the past 25 years, our stuff has just been stored in that room, just boxes stacked on top of boxes. And we have totally wasted the space. Given that the ceiling is 4 meters high, stacking boxes on the floor makes no sense. So finally, after 24 years of being in here, we're getting it organized. Me and Ishigami-san yesterday, we pulled many of the boxes halfway across the room. These guys are going to tear out that little room. And we're building a series of floor-to-ceiling shelves for woodblocks on the walls, concrete walls. Woodblocks are heavy. And then at the back half of the room, we are building 4 shelving towers that go from the ground right up 4 meters to the top. And as far as getting access to the top, they're building a mezzanine for us that goes around those 4 towers. I'll show you some pictures as it goes along. And by the end of it, we will have massive storage space. I know maybe 2/3 of it will be used up already with the things we have. And we're looking at maybe the next 4 or 5 years of wood blocks. We'll have a space ready to live. 5 years down the road, I can't see past that. But this will give us woodblock storage and general storage for the next 4 years. And then maybe at that time, another 4 or 5 years from now, it'll be time to start throwing away some woodblocks, subscription series that we won't reprint in the future or something like that. So we'll see. Construction should be 2 weeks or so. Here it comes, question time. Oh, I know what he wants. He wants me to kill the circuit breaker so they can take the power out of that room. I can't do that because it's the same power that I have right here. Let's see. I thought I heard him coming downstairs. They're gone for the day. That was their work for the day. I don't think so. Maybe he ran out to his truck. I don't know. No idea. Well, no, the estimate that they gave me, here in Japan, that's not how it works. The estimate they gave me will be what I pay. There will be no fooling around. Unless there's a total disaster, like when they're doing something that I asked them to do, put a shelf on this wall. If it turns out that the wall doesn't hold shelves or something, or whatever, something that is really unexpected. The normal flow is that, yeah, I will pay them at the end exactly what the estimate is. That's not how they screw you. They screw you, not these two men, but the system here. the way it works is a homeowner is assumed and normally knows absolutely nothing about how these systems work. So the homeowner asks the contractor, renovate my bathroom, tear out the old toilet, do this, do that. That's what I want. Give me an estimate, please. And the company A, company B will come in and give you the estimate. And the way it works, this is simply the social system here. The estimate will include a bill of materials, like new toilet, and they get the Panasonic catalog and they show you the Panasonic price is 252,000 yen for that toilet. A certain length of piping, and they show you the catalog prices for all of these things. But of course, the contractors at the end of the day or during the course of the process do not pay catalog prices for these things. But that's what the homeowner pays. The contractor may get one off the back of a truck or something, whatever, it doesn't matter. The contractor will pay wholesale prices for the goods, but the homeowner, it says on the quote sheet, the homeowner has quoted these things at retail prices. So the contractor is making a professional markup on all the goods. And again, this isn't unethical or illegal or whatever. This is the normal way. Consumer pays retail price, the contractor buys for wholesale price. So he's making money on all the components for any given job. And then, of course, they build their time for construction. These guys build me for the construction time. It's 2 men, 2 weeks. They build me, or on the estimate, it says 800,000 yen. 800,000 yen in dollars is, what's that, about just under $6,000 for 2 men for 2 weeks. 2 weeks meaning 5 days, 5 days, 10 days. So they are, they're going to make bacon on this. They're going to make bacon. And nothing here I couldn't have done myself. And in past times, we did all our own similar construction ourselves, of course. But right now, it makes no sense for Dave to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, build these shelves when I should be making woodblock prints. That's the state we've got to now. So that's the labor charge. The whole bill for this job is 1,600,000 and change. I forget the exact number. And it's way higher than it should be. But my back is against the wall. I just don't have any choice now. So it would cost me money to do this myself, exactly. I can earn much more with my Baron over the next 2 weeks than I will be paying these guys. So, no, if I supply the materials, they won't work in that situation. Never at all. Never, never. They're also, and so I saw some of their previous work. They just finished up building a house nearby, and I was in there a couple of times. During the times I was talking to these guys about estimates and stuff for this job, I was visiting them on their previous construction site, the house they were building. So I actually saw that. I got snapshots, 3 snapshots of that job from the framing to partly into the finishing. And what I saw, I was impressed. The work was nicely done. The finishing job was nice. There wasn't crap all over the place. They seemed to be working neatly and cleanly. My impression of the previous job that I saw them doing was excellent. And the beard! Okay, today's plan. Today's plan. We have this stuff, this desk work that I have to do. There's actually a whole box full of it. It's an endless box. These ladies are busy, busy, busy. But I have a couple of video clips. It's 8:36, a bit too soon. I've got some video clips, about 10 or 15 minutes of video. We'll explain it when I get to it. It's related to the carpenters. When I had visited the carpenters, when was I in Ome last time? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, I came out here quickly on a one day to visit the carpenters, and I took some video while I was out at their place. So we have 10 or 15 minutes of Ome video. And I have a book corner, of course. We have a book corner today, but it's a little bit, whatever. It is a very, very, very small little book, and it doesn't look very impressive. But of all the books that are upstairs, this one was the single one that was absolutely most life-changing. This book led to today in a direct stream. If I had not seen this book, I would not be here today. And it's not just me. Other people have found that book astonishingly life-changing experience. Guaranteed. I think there's a price at the front. Yes, $3.95. And that would have been from a used bookstore. No, it wouldn't have been a used bookstore. It would have been a bookstore, Sophia Books on Granville Street in Vancouver. And we're looking at 1980, $3.95. Expensive at the time. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. So that's today's stream, and it looks like we are going to be without any fish. Should I try once more to throw some stuff in there? The ultimate collection of dad jokes. That reminds me, actually, a few months ago, when we first started doing these Ome streams, at one point I showed you a video clip. I had walked around the house upstairs, and I passed the camera over a bunch of the bookshelves that were up there. And that's sort of maybe the origin of this little book corner we're doing. No, dad joke incoming. No. Zero, forget it, relax. But we passed the camera over the bookshelves up there. And some of you, as it was going on, recognized some of the books that you saw. And one person thought they recognized a certain book and typed in, "Oh, The Meaning of Life." And they got it wrong, that little book. Nothing to do with today. This is not today's book, no relation to today's book. But they had seen that little book and said, "Oh, it's The Meaning of Life." And it wasn't. It was a thin little black book, and it was The Meaning of Life. I'm not going to, whatever. Oh, somebody's got it. Yes, The Meaning of Life. Classic Douglas Adams, yes. This is another bleed print. The print has been printed. The print has been made on paper larger. We wanted the print to bleed at the top. And again, without blocks here, it's difficult to show. But we can't print right to the edge of the paper. It gets blurred and moisture falls under the back and it gets a mess. So if we want a bleed print, a print right to the edge of the paper, we have to print it larger and then cut to the edge. The same way that professional printers do when they're printing books and newspapers and anything. Newspapers these days, they don't have bleeds, but when you're reading a book or a magazine or something, magazines these days, the images and color all go right to the edge of the paper. They have to print it on larger paper and slice it down. And for us, it's exactly the same thing. This print is another bleed print. that thing also, causes chaos in the paper world, and it's a little bit of trouble for us here in Japan. Imagine a magazine that's going to go onto the book racks, and magazines and books and stuff really, of course, falls into some standard sizes. You can't run a bookstore if the books are going to be every different size. So there's A4 and B5, and you know it. And most magazines fit into a bunch of standard sizes. That's just A4 is a common one here. So if your magazine is going out as A4 and you're printing it like this, you want A3, but you can't use A3 paper to do it because you need larger to be able to trim. So the finished papers in the market and all the papers in the back end for wholesale, for printing presses and whatever, are different sizes. And so it is with us. Japanese washi is made at certain sizes. But if we want a bleed print and we want the finished print to be a classic size, we have to use one size up, which means we get a whole ton of wasted washi because we can't print on the size that we want. We have tons of this, bags of this. In the printing press world, it just gets thrown away. In our world, expensive kozo. We've had this conversation before. We used to recycle this locally. Some hobby people living near here used to come and get it. They boiled it up and they made smaller sheets of washi for fun. The pros, Iwano-san, they don't want it because this is no longer clean, pure kozo. It has glue mixed in from the sizing, and also many of the fibers have been cut short. So they don't want it. But Murata-san, the young lady who we're working with, she is desperate for any kind of materials, and she says, send it over. Oh, I did. The paper makers in Asakusa, I took a bag of it over there. I guess I didn't report to you, I'm sorry. Or maybe I did report. They don't want it. Same thing. They don't want it. It's off, they don't want it for their normal professional paper making back in Kochi because, again, they're professionals. They can't control the input. And they don't want it for their little hobby stuff because, again, they want to work with predictable, understandable materials. They don't want anything outside their normal flow. So, no, nobody wants it. But Murata-san, as I said, maybe she's going to boil it up and for training people or something like this. Who knows? Am I still carving sometimes? Yes. I will probably be carving print number 3 or print number 4 in next year's subscription series. I do lots of carving. Someone's asking in the kozo fiber supply. We have ourselves enough kozo in hand for a couple of years of paper. And this year's harvest, I am told, because last year's summer was very, very warm and also lots of rain, there's lots of kozo to be harvested this winter. So we're talking actually with Murata-san right now whether we should put some heavy orders in and buy a whole bunch of kozo this winter to take us through for a time in the future. So at the moment, right now, kozo supply is not a huge problem. I'm going to trim some on the bottom of that. How long can it sit around unused? This is a good open question. The paper that I will be printing on tomorrow is made on fiber that has been sitting in our own workshop since 2019. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So it's 5.5 years it's been sitting there. It is very much usable. Murata-san says now that in retrospect she should have cooked it a little bit longer, but this is all experience. How long ultimately could it sit there? We don't know. Okay, we're halfway through. Shall we look at a bit of video? Shall we look at some video? As I said, when I went to visit the carpenters a while back, there are 5 stops up the line away from central Tokyo out into the mountains. We really, really don't need this thing here at the moment, do we? The carpenter's workshop, the 2 guys working here, their station is 4 stops up the line towards the mountains. 2 weeks ago when I was visiting them, we finished up the business and I strolled back to the train station. And the trains there, it's about 1 every 2 hours. Down towards central Tokyo, trains every couple of minutes. Up here, there's a train every 2 hours. So I got to the little station. In fact, there's some video of the station here I'll show you in a minute. And it's an unmanned station. And when I finally found the schedule, I saw I had missed a train and it would be an hour and a half to the next one. So screw that, it's faster to walk home. So I started to walk home. Now, a couple of months back, I showed you some video of back streets Ome, where I walked past a temple and some gardens and this and that. And I showed you some houses in Ome. This time I thought, what can I show them that's different? And I realized that the place that I did my camping, some of you who know my previous work and stuff, there's a place where I did my camping, a river place, and I made some woodblock prints about this. That place is just up here. So I took my camera and decided to go and visit my old camping spot. It was a nice day and we did it. The Solitudes image of the river and a tent and whatever. We're going to go and visit the place where it is. Now the video I'm going to show you, I didn't do narration while I was walking, I just did it. So at the moment I can add some voiceover to explain what we're seeing. I can't hear this, I got no monitor, so tell me about the natural sound level on the video, if it has to come up or has to come down. The hard drive went to sleep. I should have woken up. Sorry, the hard drive was sleeping. Now it's not. This was 2 weeks ago, November the 28th. And we are at a secret location, a secret undisclosed location, Dave's secret camping place, near Ishigami-mae Station on the Okutama line. And we are walking from the station down towards the river. This place on the right wasn't there. When I used to come here for camping, these places on the right weren't there. This was all just countryside. Now there's a sign there that says bagel, and there's a yurt, some new kind of coffee shop. The little sign in front says closed today. John's got the station, Ishigami-mae Station. Yes, this is walking down towards the river from that station. I got a bit of glare in the camera here, but it's worth it. Just hang on a minute. see my footsteps. I'm not really good at this. This isn't a steady cam. I'm trying, but I'm not really good at it. But whatever. And I wanted to get the glare, so I'll turn around in a second. This is November 28th, and we're having a nice autumn here. It's pretty much finished now. And this is Okutama So. It's a resort. Just you come and chill. There's no activities, there's no tennis courts, there's nothing. You just sit and chill in your room and walk around the river. That's the parking lot. Okay, now we've now jumped behind and we are now down at the river somewhere nearby. This is the Tama River that flows out eventually past Haneda Airport. And down that embankment is Dave's camping place. This is a river. This is no creek. This is the Tama River, as we'll see in a minute here. There's no hot spring here, no. There will be a hot bath in the hotel there, but that'll be heated up. The river nowadays is gorgeously clear. Nobody could ever throw garbage in here. But when I moved here in 1986, it was used cars, refrigerators, oil, you name it. I'm going to pause it there for a second because this area here is where this print came from. A different perspective. When I took the picture for the print, I was actually wading in the river, but you can see the thing. There's the two rocks. It's distorted a little bit. I can't mouse around with you, but you can see the rocks on the distant embankment and some of the trees. And of course, I futzed around. I built new trees. I did this and that. But this print was born at this particular part of the river. This was 1996 when I first came here. No, I worked for photographs, of course. I'm not an artist, absolutely. We've now moved a little tiny bit upstream. This was late afternoon when I took this 2 weeks ago. In this particular place, there's absolutely no access. You can't get to it from up top because of the cliffs. I scrambled down. In fact, I cut my fingers. You saw this a couple of weeks ago on the stream. I had cut my fingers scrambling down that embankment. There's no way to get here without scrambling. Just to the right of this upstream, there's a huge cliff, a rock, blocking it. In fact, yeah, I'm sitting on top of that cliff now. I'm sitting on top of the rock. So that area, looking to the left here, it's completely private. Nobody can get there. Transparent water. And this is Tokyo. We are still in Tokyo. About a 10-minute walk from my home. No, 15-minute walk from my home. The river's shallow in places, deep in places. I don't know. It, of course, varies during the year. Typhoon season, this thing comes roaring up. The water is cold. It's cold. It comes off the Japanese Alps up, farther up, you know. Okay, here now, we've left the river and we're walking back towards the station. And I remembered there's a certain house where a certain funny dude lived, and I wondered if he was still there, and he is here. This is a strange guy who's built his little house out of bits and pieces he's collected everywhere. I was a bit afraid he might come out. He's doing bonsai and little plants, and he's really not friendly. And I was afraid he might come running out. What are you doing, taking a picture? He's in there. This is the house. This is where he lives. And people just walk by. And he's got a little, right there, you can't see it, and the little sign at the bottom on the concrete there, just to the bottom right, it says Sashi Agemasu. And all the stuff on the outside here means take what you want. I will give this to you. Sashi Agemasu. So he prepares this stuff, these plants, he collects old pots, whatever. And if you want something, just pick it up and take it away. These plates, these trays, these jugs, it's all Sashi Agemasu. There's another little sign at this end. So if you want one of these, just whatever. Little old guy lives by himself. Now, this is the last stop here on our little trip. This is the station. This is Ishigami-mae Eki. Now, Shinjuku Station is whatever, 5 million people a day going through it. This is Ishigami-mae Station, and you tell me 40 people a day. I don't know. It's Mujin Eki. There is no attendant. There are no ticket takers. There's no station master. There's nobody here. And this is on the Ome-Okutama line. It's 3 stations up from my home. Local people take care of the garden and stuff, and local volunteers take care of it. And the autumn colors, this is 2 weeks ago. And it's too bad we've lost the sunshine. If I'd been here a few minutes earlier, the sun by now is already behind the hills. Trains here, whatever, 90 minutes, 2 hours, I don't know. Maybe there's 3 or 4 trains at rush hour in the morning. People go down to town to work. There'll be a bunch of trains in the evening, but during the day, next to nothing. Yeah, that was a toilet on the left-hand side. Public toilets, yes. And then when I got here, I was trying to figure out when the train is, but there was no schedule. Everybody already knows the schedule if you need to know. And there's no ticket window, it's closed. And the machine on the right is where you tap your Suica card. It says, entry, tap your card. And I was trying to find the schedule, and there isn't one. I had to find a park bench, open my laptop, go online to find the schedule. There we have it. That's it. That's our little trout trip around Ome today. Whatever, just some random video. The colors were nice though, they showed. The colors in that parking lot, so nice. And I had a bit of trouble. The place I used to camp there, the reason I found it years ago, 20, 25 years ago, is because I was following fishermen's pathways down to the river. This time I remembered, let's see, if I go around the tennis court, there's a fisherman's pathway. It wasn't there. The people from that hotel had stacked up a bunch of logs and brush to block it. And I guess the fishermen haven't been fighting them. And I walked around and struggled and tried to find a way down, and the fishing path is gone. But I didn't want to give up, so I struggled around and bounced my way down there. And I got down to take those shots of video. But that makes it even more private. There's absolutely nobody down there. That's where I put my tent. And you can hear faintly, now and then you can hear the train go by up on the station. You can't hear people, can't hear anything, can't see anything. I get my clothes off, just swim, nobody bothers me. Inside Tokyo. You can still find quiet, peaceful places inside Tokyo. That's from Ishigami-mae Station. Yeah, you can hear traffic. And there's a high school within earshot. Across the river, up the embankment, and a couple of blocks away, there's a high school. So you can hear the kids in the playground, stuff like that. So you know you're in town. It's quiet. How much more Tokyo is there after Ome? I am about halfway. I don't know in terms of kilometers. Tokyo goes up, the road that goes past me here, the Yoshino Kaido and the Ome Kaido, Okutama Kaido, they go up to Yamanashi Prefecture. You can drive up past me, drive up and up past Okutama, and then you can drive over a pass into Yamanashi Prefecture. And I think if you look at the overall map from downtown Tokyo to me, it's about the same distance again. I think I'm about halfway. Somebody can easily find it. If you just Google a map of Tokyo, Google up a map of Tokyo, locate Ome, or just Google for Ome Tokyo, look at a map, and Tokyo Prefecture, I think I'm about halfway. Yeah, people tend to think I'm out at the far distant end of Tokyo, and that's not true. It's bears. From here on up, it's bears. There is actually a bear population in Tokyo. I don't know the number, but Tokyo has a bear population. Was the painting from the same season as today? No, that was the summer print. And remember, the print it's made up. It's a place. I took a photograph, a bunch of photographs, and then on top of that, I played around. I moved trees around. I did this and that. I moved a bit of the mountain, a couple of rocks. That was the summer print in a set of 4. Have I seen a bear? No, never. Neither here or in Canada. I have never seen a bear in the wild. Don't ever expect to. Where would I see a bear in Canada? In the zoo. I mean, I've been hiking in Canada, but you don't see bears when you're hiking. If I think about back in Canada, summer trips with our family, we went to Jasper and Banff and places like that. And on the highway, we would have seen deer, moose, that kind of stuff. I don't have any memory of seeing bears. Is there anything out there? Should we have one more try? Let's have one more go on the fish. See if we can see anything. Let's have one more try. Where we see the two leaves. Oops, missed. Oh, somebody else is here. Oh, wolo wolo, Ishigami-san is here. 魚全然見えないですよ。
見えない。
見えない。もう寝てるか。
ああ、ちょっと寒いかな。
今出した餌そのまま浮かんでますよ。
本当だね。全然だね。シーンって感じ。
じゃあ冬に寝てる石の下とか。
いや、寝てはないだろうけど、今日はでもちょっとまだ
うん。ないね。
早いかな。
あ？
早いかな。もうちょっと水温が上がってこないと寒いから。
うん。
冷たいとさ、
うん、動かないでしょ。
動かない。
そう。石上さんちょっと待ってください。
はい。
今ちょっとおはようと言ってください。ちょっと待って。おいおいおいおい。The other voice you hear, the other voice you hear. はい。こっちこっちこっち。ちょっと左。This is 石上さん。She's the lady who does most of this stuff. When you get prints packed from us, this is the lady who does it. She packs it, she takes it to the post office.
Good morning.
We have everybody. もう本当に世界のあちこちに。前大工さんと一緒に話したんですから、もうブラジル、アメリカ、カナダ、ヨーロッパ、いろんな国から見てますから。そう大丈夫ですか？
なんかすごい山みたいな。
そうそう。
青梅はとっても寒いです。
そうです。そうそうそう。
お
頑張ってください。They have a heater next door. They have a panel heater and they have little heaters that they put a gas canister in, and they have hot carpets they stand on. One day we'll get the insulation finished and get this thing up and running. That was Ishigami-san. She runs the Ome workshop here. She's got two helpers, Nishiyama-san and a new lady who I haven't met yet. I can't remember her name. So the fish, I don't know. You tell me. I really don't know. Are they sleeping? There's no way they could migrate to a different part of the river. There's a weir up there that's about 1 meter high, and there's no way those little guys can jump that. There's a weir the other side, which is again about 1 meter high. They could, I guess, go over it and down to the main river, but they got no way to get back up. So maybe they've migrated downstream, out to the sea. They're freshwater fish. Or they have died, or they are hibernating. You know, there's nooks and crannies against those brick walls, the stone walls. There's lots of little gaps and places underneath the stone where they could be just, you know, chilling out. I don't know. So the advice I would like is, should I give up putting things in this river? It just encourages them to wake up, food, next day there's no food, they're going to die. Or should I not do this at all? My guess is probably do nothing. But I'm open to suggestions and knowledge here. So this is what I'm saying. Somebody's saying feeding them may cause problems. So it's not their normal routine. So I suspect maybe the past couple of weeks I should not have been doing this as winter approached. What I was thinking was, heck, any energy I can toss into that ecosystem, would help. But I guess, bears don't wake up in the middle of the winter to eat something. I don't know. So I think unless I hear specific knowledge to the opposite, I think I'll stop doing this then. We'll see if we can see them, but I think I'll stop throwing food in till springtime. Yeah, okay, if that's the consensus. Somebody here mentioned congratulations on your new home. There's a conversation going on here that I didn't see, but that reminds me. Yesterday, when I came out here, I walked down the street to the lady who does the haircutting, and I booked an appointment. Today, I'll be going over there to get chopped. And as I came out of her place, I walked down the street towards my house here, and a guy was coming the other way, a foreign guy with 2 dogs. And I'm like, whatever, we pass each other, and I'm thinking, a foreigner walking 2 dogs? Who's this? Like, I've been living here for 25 years. Who's this? And we passed each other, looking at each other, do the nod thing, and we get past, and he calls, excuse me. I turn around, of course. Conversation has now started. And he said, you must be the blue house. And yeah, my house is blue. So yeah, there we are. So conversation has now started. And here we are getting introduced. And the reason I bring this up today is he has bought one of the Akia we looked at. We came down the street with our camera. There was a construction place where a truck was backing up, beep, 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 beep. It's where they store construction supplies. And we looked at an Akia there. He has bought it. And he's living here in Ome, and he is my new neighbor. His name is, I guess his name is Ash. He's got 2 dogs, and he bought this Akia. And he is now in the process of boom, 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 fixing it up. He's going to live there. He's not buying it to renovate it, to sell it, and to do an Airbnb, whatever. And so my first question is, like, how are you in the country? You just meet somebody walking their dogs. There's a limit to what kind of personal questions you can ask, but the number one question is, are you an illegal alien or something, whatever? Well, you can't do that in Japan, And he says, yeah, he's got a job. He works as a civilian on the military base, Yokota military base, some kilometers away. Rides his bicycle down there. And that's it. Here's a guy, bought an Akia. He's got a job. Buying a house doesn't get you a visa here in Japan. Having a job and visa stuff means you can buy a house. So here we are. So I have a new neighbor. I won't be spending a whole lot of time with him, but I believe he looked American, maybe Canadian. I don't know. I couldn't tell. But there it is. One of the Akia that we actually looked at in the last couple of weeks has now sold to a foreigner. Okay, I think I'm on my last sheet, and I think the timing is pretty good here. Let's see. What time is it? 9:16. There's no show and tell today, of course, because we are in Ome. But we have a book corner. We didn't speak in Japanese. We spoke in English, so I don't know. I didn't grill him. Just a casual conversation. 2 neighbors meeting for the first time. There's no deep conversation here. Just sort of, how are you and what's going on? He's been in Japan for a few years, it seems. His job is there. And he decided to buy a house. So it is. We are now, there's no show and tell, but of course it is now book time. Boom. let's move the camera a bit so we can see a little bit more of this book. It's pretty small. Is it rare to see foreigners in this area? It's rare to see people like me, yes. It's not rare to see Chinese or Vietnamese immigrant workers, because some of the factories around here have gone that route. And in fact, the house in front of mine, Yamaguchi-san's house, he's gone now. He's the Second War pilot who became friends. He helped me a lot, and I helped him with his groceries and stuff. His house is now occupied by 4 Chinese boys. And man, they are noisy, and man, they do not follow the garbage rules, and are we good to go? Are we okay? Shiny. Okay, the book is this. It's, whatever, big surprise. It's a book about woodblock printing. And it was published in Japan first in Japanese as part of a long, long series. It's Hoikusha, and they published a bunch of books about Japanese cultural stuff for a Japanese audience. It was nothing to do with foreigners. And they get a bookshelf and all these little books. It's about ceramics or printmaking or fabric dyeing or sculpture or whatever. Just a bunch of casual little books giving information about some aspects of Japanese arts or crafts or culture. A few of them ended up getting translated into English, among which was this one. And we are now talking about the 1970s. The book, Tomikichiro Tokuriki. The book would have first been created in 1968. This is before my time. And I would have got this in maybe 1977, 78, or 1980, somewhere around there. And it was the first time I was trying to find information about Japanese printmaking. And this little book was the only thing available. None. Oh, it's the construction. Whatever, we can't do that. And myself and another David. I guess I've told you this story before. I don't know. Those of you who know about this. If you speak about foreigners in Japan learning woodblock prints, it's not just me. There's a group of us. So let's try and trim the group smaller. Let's limit the group just to foreigners here doing woodblock prints who were born in England. That cuts it down. There's now 2 or 3. If we cut it down to foreigners from England learning or talking about woodblock prints who have beards, that cuts it down to 2. Let's cut to the chase. They've got to be called David. That cuts it to 2. They've got to be here more than 40 years. That cuts it to 2. When you have that group of people in this country, woodblock printmakers from England whose name is David, who have been here more than 40 years, who have a white beard, there's 2 of us. And both of us came to it from this book. David Stones first, and then me. And we diverged in one very important way. Tomikichiro-san, showing in whatever how he made his little hobby prints and what kind of brushes were used and how you sit on the floor in traditional style and whatever. It's not a printing manual, but it shows a lot of the process. But at the very end of it, Mr. Tokuriki, where is it? I've got to read you this because it's absolutely critical. Where does it say? It's the key phrase, which I ignored. Here it is. Oh, it's the notice from the translator, who is Arimatsu-san. One thing I must not fail to mention is the great personal charm of the author. He's been honored by the city of Kyoto as one of the most able and amiable representatives of Japanese hospitality and culture. If the reader of this book has a chance to visit Kyoto, he should feel free to contact the author. I never did. David Stones did. He went and knocked on his door. And this was before I came to Japan. Dave Stones went there. This would be 1976 or 7, whatever. Tokuriki-san says, I've heard the story from Dave. Tokuriki-san says, come in. There's a bench. get to work. Whatever. And there are photos on the internet. This is from the 1970s of Tokuriki-san, who was supposedly, an artist, a self-printing artist. He sold his work all over Kyoto to the tourists, and he carved and printed and made the sample prints. And then the team, the foreigners and other people who wanted to learn this, get to work. So Dave Stones was one of the people working, printing for Tokuriki. And both sides happy. Tokuriki-san gets people to make his prints, and people like David Stones got trained in an actual Kyoto workshop. They saw the carving being done. They saw how pigments are mixed. They saw moistening of paper, and they printed and printed and printed. So Dave spent, 2, 3, 4 years there working for Tokuriki-san. I have no idea, getting paid well, getting paid nothing. I don't know anything about the arrangement at all. Tokuriki-san's prints, they're kind of folk art kind of stuff. He wasn't interested in making ukiyo-e prints, nothing to do with that. He made folk art stuff, sold them in Kyoto tourist shops, very, very successful. He's long dead now, but very, very successful in his day. The quality standard really, really dropped as time went by, but when they were good, they were very, very good. And he's now got a reputation because he worked in the art field. Tokuriki was an artist. His prints now the price is starting to go up little bit by little bit by little bit. I never met him at all, not once. But this book, I read this cover to cover. Actually, this is a replacement copy. This is a neat, clean copy. The original copy I had back in Canada was beaten to shreds. It came apart, pages got lost, the binding was broken. You saw that a couple of the books I've showed you already in this series are pretty badly beaten up. This one got beaten into non-existence. Do we want to know information about it? Let's get the copyright page and stuff. Here we are. The picture for the Instagram, which I'll be putting up somewhere soon. And then here's the information. And by now, it's now 2024, it must be up to the 999,000th edition. Yeah, I myself don't care for his style of printmaking. It's okay. We all have our own deals. You know my deal. I'm a control freak. I'm not an artist. I find this sort of print design, whatever. It's, to me, it's sort of, whatever. It's just not the kind of thing I want to do. It's fine. It's a thing. They're wood cuts to me rather than classical woodblock prints. But they are what they are. And he showed himself. He showed the whole process of what he was doing, drawing and pasting it down and doing this and that. And as I said, my copy of this book dissolved because I ate it. I ate it. I tried making the first prints based on what I had learned in here. It was a disaster. Not his fault, just simply I was too far from the source. Someone like Dave Stones, who went there and sat in the workshop and saw how it was done, of course, got a huge, huge step up. Got a huge boost forward. No idea what they're doing. Deconstructing that room. I guess I should perhaps now wrap this up and get up there. I'm still, what I was supposed to do before they came, I was supposed to get that room emptied. I got about 2/3 of that done last night, then crashed, and I thought I would do the rest after the stream today. But, so, no. Okay, so I'd better get to work. Okay, today's Thursday. Now, you know what is happening for the next few weeks. In fact, you know what's going to be happening now right through to the end of the year. I am a printer starting tomorrow morning. So Saturday stream, you will see me printing on the first print of next year's subscription series. And I'll be making 120 prints. That's nowhere near enough. I will follow it up with 120 more. And then if there's enough orders, with 120 more. Next year's subscription series will be opened up late next week in our year-end update video, which I also have to find time to make. So there we are. Let's call it. Thanks very much. I'm sorry about the lack of fish. Can't be helped. Nature is what nature is. We will just go along and play along with her. See you in a couple of days at the printing bench upstairs on the 3rd floor in Asakusa. Bye for now. Do we count this down? 3. There's no fish. There's no fish. Let's just say goodbye. Cool. See you in a couple of days. 3, 2, 1. Bye for now. Away we go.